morning, everybody. Yep. It is Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week day. Yeah, exactly. And so far, we have with us this morning a fuckwad, a mezzo dragon, a panina chan, a fliss, and a ghost dog. And biddies were issued with an I'm paying into Social Security and Medicare that will both be gone before I can collect. That is one of the big stories for the day. And we're going to get into that in the news segment. Hump, hump, oh boy, here she is, spamming the chat with hump, 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 hump. And a good morning to Fliss as well. So yeah, we had last night.
Panina's just in a mood for humping.
Right? Thank you for the biddies, Panina. She's trying to stay in the lead. Oh, the bit wars. Oh, the bit wars. Bit wars. Nothing but bit wars.
No, Jesus.
I had to. We were binge watching iZombie yesterday, and then we went to Amazon Prime, which I can't renew for this month, and we started watching Grand Tour with our favorite trio from... Not yet.
We'll redo it in probably maybe a week or so.
In a week or so, possibly. With our favorite trio that was on Top Gear. And yes, they haven't missed a step. They still pick on each other. James May being the quote-unquote slowest human on Earth.
Yeah.
You know, Hammond bringing the muscle car to a, road trip and so on and so forth. So yeah, they still have the same chemistry. They still do the same funny shit. We were absolutely enjoying the episodes that we were watching for Grand Tour. If you guys haven't seen it, you don't know what you're missing. They do talk about cars, but since they're three friends, the bantering between the three of them is it's what makes the show. It really is. It's what makes the show. The pilot episode started out with, the radio announcement of I can't ever remember his name. The main guy being, his contract not being renewed.
Yeah.
And so him flying to the United States for their first, for the pilot episode. And the funny part was they were all introducing each other by listing what companies they got fired from. Which I thought was hilarious. And then they get to him and he goes, I technically have not been fired at all.
Well, technically he's right and everything, but he's been, his contract has not been renewed on more than one occasion.
Right.
For more than one employer and everything.
Yeah.
He's a bit mouthy.
Yeah, he's
a little loud.
Love
him anyway.
He has no filter. We like his unadulterated views.
That's why I like him and everything, because there's no filter. If he thinks it, he says it.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely does. Today is the 74th anniversary of D-Day, or the landing at Normandy, and we have a treat for you guys. We are going to have to pause so we can play this for you, but we found a little piece of a time capsule that we want to play for you guys. So we don't have any Twitter snippets today. However, we do have something that you might actually enjoy.
Yeah, I'm hoping you enjoy it.
So let me go ahead and mute my audio.
General Dwight D. Eisenhower and his deputy commanders chart the liberation of a lost continent, plan when and where the mighty armies of the United Nations will strike. Today, northern France is that battleground. Into the building of their defense system, the so-called West Wall, the Nazis poured the slave labor of conquered nations. Pictures made by the Germans themselves to impress their satellites with the strength and invincibility of their fortifications. in steel and concrete emplacements 4 years in the making, the Germans have amassed every known weapon of defense. Whether those weapons are enough to stop the Allied onslaught will be proven in the struggle that lies ahead. Here is the other side of the channel, Britain, an armed camp bristling with tanks and trucks and guns from the United States and Canada. Here is the fruition of 4 years of planning and production. Here is a glimpse of England as the Allied armies awaited D-Day. Locomotives built to run on continental railways, freight cars and tank cars to replace rolling stock destroyed by the Germans. All this and more is included in the gigantic preparation for invasion. Here is something of the gigantic naval armada assembled to transport the Allied armies across the English Channel. Here is something of the ingenuity of Allied engineers. Assault boats and invasion barges launched directly from the decks of the ships that brought them to England. Week after week, the fleet grew in numbers. Steel ships of every description. Ships expressly designed and constructed for the mission upon which soon they were to embark.
It is a 9.5-minute long video. It is public domain, which is why I played so much of it uninterrupted. But it is a piece of our history. This is D-Day, the landing of Normandy Day, 74 years ago. So I figured you guys would like a little bit of a treat of what a newsreel looked like back then and how they were announcing it to the country that today was the day that they were going to destroy Nazi forces.
Well, here's the thing. By the time that everybody got this information was released, that was already well underway.
Yeah.
Wasn't really released on television or radio. It was released in newsreel, and you caught the newsreels how? By going to see a movie. It was a lot of them were at the beginning and then at the end. Again at the end.
Them newfangled moving pictures.
Yeah, we're going to the picture show.
We're going to the picture show. Today is the day I watch the news. So we figured you would like that a little bit, and I did put the link in for the whole video in the live chat if you guys want to watch that. Also, this day in history, as I close this out, we have Gustav Vasa becomes king of Sweden in 1523. 1641, Spain loses Portugal. 1674, Shivaji crowns himself King of India. 1813, United States invasion of Canada is halted by Stony Creek, Ontario. 1862, the city of Memphis surrenders to the Union Navy after an intense naval engagement on the Mississippi River.
1865, Confederate raider William Quantrill dies from a wound received while escaping a Union patrol near Taylorsville, Kentucky.
All right, read the next few.
1918, the U.S. Marines enter combat at the Battle of Belleau Wood. Let's see. 1930, frozen foods are sold commercially for the first time. 1934, President Franklin Roosevelt signs the Securities Exchange Act and establishing the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Yep. Oh, wait a minute. Before we continue, I would like to welcome our 2 new followers. I'm going to flip over to Streamlabs to name them off. We have new to the fold, Hador Co, I believe is how you pronounce that, and Axonar, who is now a subscriber to me on YouTube. So welcome and thank you for the follows and subscriptions, or the new subscriber on YouTube. Every little bit helps, and your support is greatly appreciated. No, you're not late. Let me see here, and we continue. 1941, U.S. government authorizes the seizure of foreign ships in U.S. ports.
Let's see. 1944, of course, D-Day Operation Overlord lands 400,000 Allied, American, British, and Canadian troops on the beaches of Normandy in German-occupied France.
Mm-hmm. Swiss psychiatrist Carl Gustav Jung, one of the founders of modern psychiatry, dies. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, African-American James Meredith is shot and wounded while on a solo march in Mississippi to promote voter registration among blacks.
1982, Israel invades southern Lebanon.
1985, the body of Nazi war criminal Dr. Joseph Mengele is located and exhumed near Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Yep. And if you are born on June 6th, you share birthdays with Pierre Corneille, French author; Nathan Hale, American revolutionary;
John Trumbull, American painter; Robert F. Scott, British explorer;
Alexander Pushkin, Russian writer; Alexandra, the last Russian Tsarina.
Let's see. Thomas Mann, German novelist and essayist forced into exile by the Nazis; Jimmy Lunsford, band leader;
Bill Dickey, professional baseball player; Maxine Kumin, poet, novelist, and children's author;
Bill Moyers, American broadcast journalist, press secretary to President Lyndon Johnson;
and Marion White Edelman, first African-American woman to be admitted to the Mississippi Bar, founder of the Children's Defense Fund. So there is the link to that particular source. I hope you guys enjoyed that little tidbit of history. We love sharing these little tidbits with you guys, and now that you have told us that you wanted to see more on this day in history, we are going to make it permanent. I do have to come up with a little, segue kind of thing.
Yeah.
To give you guys a heads up that it's coming, but I hope you guys enjoyed it today. Never forget your history. Always stay up on what happened in history, because those that forget history are doomed to repeat it, and we seem to be repeating it in certain circles because people like to revise history.
I'm not talking about people that are trying to rewrite history to fit their idiotic narratives.
No. Why would we?
I don't speak of individuals like that because they irritate me, and I'm trying to avoid irritants today.
Merlin is feeling better. He's just exhausted from all the pain that he had to fight through. He says if weather permits that he will be on tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
He misses you all.
I'm glad he's feeling a little. Maybe I'm hoping he catches a break.
Yeah, I know.
He needs a break.
Yeah. Today we call upon the fateful ride that will have Ronan going back to Rent-A-Center and turning in his laptop.
Listen, I told you I was trying to...
not talk about that?
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid irritants.
I know.
What rub salt in that
wound? The whole thing is the news is coming up, and that can be an irritant too.
Irritate me, I unplug everything.
I love you. Alright, so let's go ahead and get on with the news. Be the weather that we need, but it's always the weather we're stuck with. Out of the National Weather Service, forecast good through June 8th, that's Friday. Stormy weather for Midwest and pleasant conditions for the eastern U.S. throughout midweek. Yay! Finally!
We get pleasant?
Good weather news.
It's going to be 72 with a light breeze and everything. Mostly cloudy.
An upper-level ridge extending across the central and southern plains through the middle of the week is expected to result in widespread regions of temperatures in the 90s from the central plains to the Gulf Coast. The hottest locations will be western... No, it's not what I wanted to hear either. The hottest locations will be western Texas and the lower elevations of the desert southwest, where high temperatures exceeding 100 degrees are likely both Wednesday and Thursday. With an upper-level trough governing the weather pattern over the northeast states, expect pleasantly cool conditions for the first time this time of year, with highs in the 60s and 70s from the upper Midwest to the Mid-Atlantic region and the Northwest U.S., and even cooler for the higher elevations and northern New England. I was glitching. Cooler conditions are also likely across the Pacific Northwest. I can imagine your face, which is why I was laughing. With onshore flow across the region. So we're looking, this is our weather map for today. So all that rain and thunderstorms is missing us. Missing Alabama for the most part, Mississippi for the most part. And catching that southwest part of Louisiana. And a bit of this eastern part of Texas. But it has firmly enveloped Oklahoma and all the states in the Midwest, except for the northernmost ones. So that's where all the rain and everything is today.
Poor old Nebraska. Looks like y'all are going to be under.
Yeah, they're looking for Noah. I hear he builds great boats.
Well, this thunderstorms and everything, which is a possibility always this time of year, you know, especially with this, where this is sitting right through here, is, you know, that's going to elevate the risk for tornadoes a little bit and everything. So, hopefully Lou will stay dry and quiet.
Yep. And here is the temperature map for the day. So we are in between the 80s and 90s region here where we're at in the southwest.
Can we discuss this 90s shit?
You know, I've said it before. I would be perfectly content if it was 75 to 80 all year round. Was relatively
75 degrees and everything. About a 4 or 5 mile an hour constant breeze going and everything, you know. Partly cloudy to where it's not always brilliantly bright.
Yeah.
A shade tree. Case of beer. You know, peace and quiet. Can I have that?
I know. It would be nice. It would be nice. Okay, now to head into the news.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Why you uh-oh? Uh-oh's not good. We are talking about the primaries, and yes, this time this thing is bloopering all over the place. Come on, give me my talking points. Thank y'all. Alright, here we go. Here we go. And we're starting with, here are the primary results for yesterday. Now, I had to sum through one of those. Timeline articles are not our favorite ones to sort through because they repeat stuff all the time. So you have to go and pick out the pertinent pieces of information.
Yeah.
This is what we were able to glean from the particular article that I found the timeline on. Out of Mississippi, U.S. Senator Roger Wicker has won the primary after Trump's months-long endorsement. He raised funds to aid the president to enact his America First policies. He defeated Richard Boynton, who ran on a low-budget campaign. Wicker served 13 years in the House before he was appointed to Senate. David Berea and Howard Sherman are in a runoff, which will happen on June 26th.
Yep.
Okay, you go ahead and read the next one. I got to clean my glasses.
New Jersey. Bob Hugin beat Brian Goldberg for the Republican Senate primary. Hugin is a former Marine and pharmaceutical executive. Spent much of his own money on his campaign. Menendez is the Democratic nominee.
And now we move on to New Mexico, which is one of those
New Mexico.
New Mexico. All right, here we go. New Mexico. The polls were closing around at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Representative Michelle Lujan Grisham wins the Democratic nomination, leads the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and she is a critic of Donald Trump. No big surprise there. She's received endorsements from progressive advocacy groups, tribal governments, and many labor unions. She defeated Senator Joseph Cervantes for governor. Democrat Deborah Haaland has won nomination for congressional seat and faces Republican Janice Arnold Jones and Libertarian Lloyd Princeton. So there's a three-way race for that seat.
It's going to be an interesting one.
It is. It's going to be an interesting one. California was a clusterfuck. Starting out in Los Angeles County, where it was reported that 118,522 voters were left off the voter list due to a printing error.
That's not a printing error. Those were Republican voters.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt
I can guarantee you they were Republican voters.
They were given provisional ballots with which to cast their vote, so they were still able to vote. It just took a little longer for everything to come in. Feinstein nabs first place in the primary. Remember, everybody was on the same ballot. Whoever got the most votes got the first 2 slots. Gavin Newsom and Republican John Cox will be running for the gubernatorial seat. Judge Aaron Persky was recalled. In case you guys don't remember who Aaron Persky is, he was the judge who sentenced Brock Turner to only 6 months in jail after sexually assaulting someone. So he got recalled. He's out. California denies supermajority in the state, which is good. That means they are not going to be able, most of their seats in that Congress is not going to be Democratic. That's what that means. So there is a bright spot. There's a bright spot, guys. Moving over to Montana. Democratic Senator John Tester and Republican Representative Greg Gianforte were unopposed. State Auditor Matthew Rosendale has won the Republican nomination. So he's going up against
Iowa.
In Iowa, the mess that is Iowa. Record turnout. Good sign as I lose a lung. Republican Steve King was the only incumbent challenged. Governor Kim Reynolds ran unopposed for nomination. Retired businessman Fred Hubble won the Democratic Party, and he faces Representative Governor Kim Reynolds.
Republican governor.
Yeah. Senator Nate Bolton dropped out of the race due to accusations of sexual misconduct. Abby Finkenauer has won the Democratic nominee, looking to be the youngest to be elected in the United States House at 28 years of age. The current record is held by a 30-year-old woman. Running against Representative Rod Blum, who is unopposed. Alabama. So if Neilk is listening, here's his state. Representative Martha Robbie is in a runoff after critics pointed out her criticism of President Trump. She's a 4-term incumbent. The runoff is in July. Governor Kay Ivey has nomination to keep her office without a runoff. Tuscaloosa Mayor Walt Maddox is Ivey's contender for governor. Mallory Hagan has Democratic nomination for Congress. She was former Miss America, and Rogers ran unopposed for GOP nominations. So that's what's going on in Alabama. South Dakota, U.S. Representative Kristi Noem has won gubernatorial nomination, stands to be the first woman governor in the state, faces Democrat Billy Sutton. Sutton avoided a primary to gather funds. So we're going to be keeping an eye on South Dakota. History may be made. But please don't vote just to make history. Vote for the better candidate.
Yes.
Just voting to make history can lead into a mess, Obama.
Vote for no good reason and everything. You know, just give me something to rant about for 3 hours.
So that is what that looks like. And I am going to be looking up today, probably on my Kindle, as soon as I get it to connect to the internet again, the dates of upcoming primaries for the rest of the states. That way you guys can be aware and vote. Voting is very important. Get out there. Learn about your candidate. Learn about your potential nominees for the primary, what they're standing for, what platforms they're running on, so on and so forth. Please do your research and your homework.
Vote. Please, now here's the way you put it, dear, and everything. Please vote. Get these Fifi, you know, my hurt Fifis, and you know. You triggered me because you didn't call me the right pronoun.
Yeah.
People away from us all. Save us the problem of tracking them down after the revolution and hanging them from a tree.
And here is the story that everybody is waiting on this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We. Social Security dips into reserves. For the first time since 1982, the costs for Social Security will exceed its income. This means the program will have to use its almost $3 trillion trust fund to cover benefits. But the only surprise for the writers of the annual report is what happened 3 years.
Is that it happened 3 years than projected?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years earlier than projected.
Yeah. Lower economic growth projections, lower tax revenue is cited for one of the factors. The annual report also stated the trust fund is projected for depletion in 2034 with Medicare's hospital insurance being depleted in 2026. The disability portion of Social Security is projected to be depleted in 2032. Once Social Security is depleted, recipients will only receive 3/4 of scheduled benefits. Last year, there were 2.8 workers for every recipient, which was down from the 3.3 per recipient in 2007. But unless Congress can find a way to shore up the program, that will not matter. Treasury Secretary of State Mnuchin states that the Trump administration's efforts to cut taxes, reduce regulatory burdens, and overhaul trade agreements could very well give the economy the boost it needs to generate revenue for Medicaid care and Social Security, which not only allows benefits for the retired but the disabled as well. The tax cuts, which were passed last year, have slightly lowered the estimated revenue for the programs in the coming years because the taxation of the benefits goes into the trust fund. Congress has yet to agree on what course to take.
Arthur, Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. If they just would have used it, just left it alone, because your Social Security number was supposed to be your very own governmental savings account. Whatever you paid into it from your paycheck went in there and nobody could touch it. The problem happened when they put it as part of the general fund. When they got rid of what the program was supposed to do and put that money in the general fund. Well, that's when all this started happening.
All right, well, here's the other problem. Everybody started switching over from actual pension plans to 401ks, which fail all the fucking time.
Panina, when it's Florida's turn, it's a red ticket for me. If the Republican doesn't mesh with my ideal, then no vote or we'll write in. My cat socks will do a better job than some of these politicians. Numbskull, the problem is allowing so many to use it. Yeah. Good afternoon, Batman. I'm actually here. Let the crowds cheer huzzah at my arrival.
Whiskey.
I need something. I need to quit hacking up the lung and get it over with. Arthur, the problem too is when they vote to raise the debt limit, they're just saying plunder Social Security. Yep, and there went the sound because I was coughing, Batman. Numbskull, I can't invest at all. How much does the bank give in interest versus charge in interest? Yep, good point. I use a credit union because I always get a dividend. I will always love my credit union. Alright, next story on the docket. Facebook gives info to flagged firm. My mistake, Obama's fault. Alright, here we go. In an ongoing struggle to improve its optics, Facebook has now been outed as sharing data with Huawei, a Chinese telecommunications equipment company that American intel officers has flagged as a national security threat. The agreement with this and 3 other companies date back to 2010. The other 3 companies are Lenovo, Oppo, and TCL. Facebook has stated they would end their partnership with Huawei by the end of the week. These deals allowed Facebook to jump in the lead in the mobile market, allowing device makers to offer Facebook features like address books, like buttons, and status updates. To a degree, the agreement allowed Chinese companies to retrieve information on users and their friends, which included work and education history, relationship statuses, and likes. Facebook contends the information stayed on the Huawei phones and not the company's servers. Welcome, Yen-Pack! So, yeah, they're still... By this time, there is... To me, there's nothing they can do to improve their company's... their company, period. F-wit book. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's from this day forward.
Yeah. I mean, every time something comes out, it's not good. They're either sharing info with the wrong person, or they're caught doing shit they're not supposed to be doing. He just made a lot of piss-poor decisions in the name of money.
And they weren't piss-poor decisions. He chased money. Somebody said, we will give you this amount of money. He didn't look into it and everything. He said, give me your money. I get free money.
Yep. There you go. You get the last story of the morning.
Judge says citation needed on climate claims. Administrator Pruitt of the Environmental Protection Agency has been told to release his documents, which go against scientific evidence shared by the very same department before President Trump and his administration took office. A group named Public Employees for Environmental Responsibility filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the EPA for the documents in question. The EPA stalled and did not turn over the information. On Tuesday, U.S. District Court judge for the District of Columbia put forth a memo saying the document must be provided by July 11th, and if the documents asked for cannot be provided, an explanation must take their place. The EPA contended the request was overly broad and that the request would be a burden. They explained to the court the Freedom of Information Act request would require EPA to spend countless hours researching and analyzing a vast trove of material on the effect of human activity on the climate change. Judge Howell had none of it. You made all these fucking claims.
Yeah.
Put up or shut up.
Put your money where your mouth is. That's all the judge wants you to do. Once, there's very rare occasions where if you file a request for the Freedom of Information through the Act, that it's either denied or you're given some sort of explanation as to why the information cannot be furnished. And those denials are few and far between. If you fill out the proper paperwork requesting said information, more often than not, you're going to get those documents released to you. Because the way the government sees it is there should not be a reason why those documents you're requesting should not be released. So, what is Pruitt hiding?
Well, here's the thing. The answer was right in there. They made claims.
Yep.
But they've done no research for it.
Yeah. Vast trove of material. In other words, going through it to see if they can, They haven't researched it at all. They made a claim without actually researching it. They skimmed over it and made a across-the-board statement. And now people are going, prove it. Citation needed, please. Citation needed. This ain't fucking YouTube and everything, or Twitter. You're not gonna block me, and you're not gonna flag me down and everything, so that you don't have to hear this and everything. Now prove it. Yeah.
Now, for all you little snowflakes out there that might accidentally tune into this show and everything, this is what happens when you start making claims and people say, prove it.
Yeah. Clearly,
you're not going to run
the climate is changing. It's the cause that is in contention. Yeah, it's the cause. The climate is always in a state of flux, okay? What is impacting it has always been in contention, okay? Do we impact the climate? Everything you do in the climate impacts the climate. The question is how much. The question is how fast. And the question is what damage.
At the rate of deforestation, it's a lot of damage, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, hello, plants, trees. That's what cleans the air that we breathe.
Exactly. The government stonewalling. I'm shocked.
Someone that made a claim and a broad across the board claim, and then you say prove it, and then they're like, well, we can't. I mean, that would take too much thing and everything. We could just tell you what it is instead of showing you the actual data. No, that's not the way it fucking works.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Like a particular journalist on Twitter would say, imagine my shock. I think it's the We Was Kang's brigade trying to heat up the planet to get rid of Whitey.
Hey, wash your ass.
Wash your ass, man. Wash your ass. All right.
He had to bring that up. Now it's going to be stuck in my fucking head all day.
He did, and I will let you blame it on him because reasons.
I'm going to mute him in our servers when I'm going to do it.
All right.
I'm going to demote him to peon. Rename him to the hang gliding hamster.
Well, I do have, a title in there called Serfs. Evil laugh. All right, here we go.
Justin, Beverly Hills 90210, Cleveland Browns 3.
Well, at least they scored 3.
Yeah, at least they scored 3. All right. First up on our recommended video is one of my favorite channels for entertainment and movie news and stuff. They actually, this is Cinefix, and they actually were able to interview the director of American Animals, where his inspiration came from, how he got the idea from the movie, and so forth. So this is very, 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 very interesting video to watch, and it's only about 6 minutes long, but it is really good. It is a really good video to watch. Next one on the list, as soon as it loads, is one of my favorite YouTube comedians, Joe Santagato. And basically, just to give you...
And he's drinking Modelo.
He's drinking... It's not the best beer, but...
You're drinking Modelo. You're going to just sit there and you're going to pop a cap on it. I'm going to have to send this boy some tips on beer drinking.
I'm going to go ahead and mute for a second to give you guys just a snippet of this because I thought this was funny. That's just a tidbit. That's just a tidbit.
That's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. He goes into all this stuff, and he admits that he's 2 beers in while filming this and comes
Hold
up
up.
with
I'm going to have to correct Batman and everything.
Oh, I got to back this up. I couldn't hear the video.
You couldn't hear the video. Did you have the desktop audio on?
Probably.
Yes, you had the desktop audio on.
All right, here we go.
First, the most important thing you're going to need to know before getting your summer body is NGH. Not gonna happen. Actually, not gonna fucking happen. It's not gonna fucking...
There you go. I hope that's better. Look, we've been... I'm not even gonna address the people picking on me because of me forgetting
me and Callie are headed... are headed toward butting heads here in
y'all
real soon and everything, and she's not going to enjoy it.
If there was a way I couldn't freaking echo everything when I played it, then I wouldn't have to mute anything. But I haven't figured that out, and I can't put on my headphones because baby is sitting next to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have that problem. So here we go. There's the link to Santagato's video. Next one on the list. Yes, Mim Headroom found the Thundercats Roar. And he did his own 2 cents on the matter. And as you can tell with the subtitle, I managed to find footage after recording. It's worse than I thought. And it is funny. He does go on a rant. I know. Penny's throwing popcorn. So yeah, he puts
like
his
you're
own
the
2
teacher
cents.
in the room or something.
I know, right? It's like I'm the teacher. Well, I am the internet mom, so apparently they're doing it that way, I guess, maybe.
Children.
Children. Yeah. So we do have Mims, and he cracked me up laughing. He does bring up Steven Universe and the differences and, you know, how Steven Universe's, you know, animation does fit the theme for the show and the way the story and the show progresses. But he does...
Batman, you will not be allowed to stay here if you're going to throw your little sister again.
Right, exactly. Y'all go to your... Don't make me turn this stream around. I will do it. Don't make me pull over and turn this stream around. Throw shade. Alright, now, Nerd Writer goes into, in his own special and entertaining way, his reasons as to what the problem of the DC action series is. He does admit that he read DC growing up and not Marvel, but he does illustrate a couple of the problems with the movies in between the two.
He does. He does. And I like his take on the problems.
Thank you for the biddy. He throws bits. I'm being good, Maddie.
Yes, Jason.
Yes, Jacob. So he does. He's one of my favorite creators when it comes to in-depth commentary and really getting to the bottom of things. Because he presents it in a point of view that some people tend to miss.
Now Callie's misbehaving.
I know, right? Quit throwing Jacob. Jacob didn't do nothing. Alright, and now, you know, it's Wednesday. You know what day it is, right? You know what we're doing, right?
Yeah, and I blame this day all on Callie.
No.
It's her fault.
But
she helped you start this to begin with.
Yes,
it's her fault.
Yeah.
She should be taken out and burned at the stake.
Yes, but Jason, otherwise known as Bitter Elasticat, was the one that submitted the article. So,
God damn it! Why'd it have to be somebody I like?
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna miss him.
I know.
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
Tell me.
Oh, it's bad. It's really bad. It's probably at least
Is it stick
stage
my head
3.
in the trash can and puke bad?
It's at least stage 3. Public Radio Seattle. Unapologetically progressive.
Oh, dear God.
Alright, here we go. Amalonda Philomere. Amalonda Philomere. I'm going to make sure I'm not... Okay, good. Is one of the newer faces around Public Radio Seattle. But the respect Z commands from the rest of the staff is as if Z has been around for decades. Noticing the problem now? That is how much respect Public Radio Seattle has for Z. It is...
Stop.
What? Ghost doggo, for fucking hell. It is really flattering. Oh.
We can absolutely tell and everything that Washington has an overabundance of drug-addled minds at this point.
It's really flattering to have this kind of respect and admiration from so many people I deeply respect, said Philomere. It really makes what I do for Public Radio Seattle that much more fulfilling. You gotta do it in the proper voice. Amalonda Philomere is not without their own life changes. Zia's parents disowned Zia when Zia was only 16 years old, forcing Zia out on the street and on Zia's own. I came out as non-binary when I was 16. Some days I wanted to be a boy, some days a girl, some days neither, some days both. However, my really ultra-conservative religious parents were having none of it and forced me to be a boy full-time. I finally had enough and called Child Protective Services, and my parents kicked me out after that. Gee, I wonder why.
And it served you right.
Right. The sound of Jacob ramming a wall can be heard.
I shall join you momentarily, Jacob.
Pours gasoline over Philomere relied heavily on a network of LGBT...
Purify it with fire!
Philomere
Burn it to the ground!
Come, we gotta make it through. Come on, we gotta make it through. We can do this. Philomere relied heavily on a network of LGBT-friendly organizations and charities to make it through high school, where Zia learned scholarship to Western Washington University, where Zia studied theater with a minor in women's studies. No surprise. I was born male, but I express myself and identify as female frequently, so the women's studies minor was a way for me to get female foundation for myself. Like you weren't enough of a soy boy. Philomere graduated from WWU while working for an independent theatre group. It was identified by Frank Matthews Lester after production. He was really interested in my life story, and when I... Oh, wrong voice. He was really interested in my life story, and when I told him all about myself, he said that Public Radio Seattle was lacking a personality like mine, so it was very flattering to become the first genderqueer, gender-neutral, and non-binary host on Public Radio Seattle. It's clear to me that these people are not eating enough Tide Pods.
Precisely. And you know, it's, you know, thank you for destroying My Little Pony now for the other younger masses of the world.
Yeah, Philomere was born named Landon McGrath, but changed his name when Z turned 18 and could legally do so without parental permission. My first name is a combo of my 3 favorite female and male names, Amanda, Lauren, and Rhonda. My name is based on my favorite TV show of all time, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, and it's a combination of the words Philly and mare.
Look at Panina.
Not MLP, fuck off. Philomere credits My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic for Zia's transformation. I was a lonely boy in middle school when I started watching My Little Pony, and it was through that show where I discovered my true identity as a human. This show helped relay so much personal discovery to me, and I owe everything to it and its creators, and it is why I honor the show with my last name.
Oh.
With not behind the microphone, Philomere is spending Zia time watching My Little Pony and going to My Little Pony meetups. It's a brony. It's a brony. It's a brony. And conventions, and it's helping other non-binary kids with their struggles. Other people help me, and I feel the need to give back to those who are in this situation. I was once.
I feel my need to help him and everything. I need to give him that personal up close attention that
right.
This individual so desperately needs. You know, grab him by the throat, slap the hell out of him a couple of times and everything. Straighten up and act right, man up for once and everything, and quit digging for extra attention.
Right.
You short-sighted little cunt wad.
You can hear Amelonda Philomere and Zia program I'm with Zia on Public Radio Seattle Monday through Friday from noon to 2.
Kill it with fire.
I watch the show and it never affects me like this, Mezzo Dragon. You wore the appropriate shirt, too. Yep, it's never too early to start drinking bleach. Yes. We love Liz's shirt. It's so appropriate in this particular
Yes, and it's
instance.
comfortable.
And it is, it's very comfortable. God, please, someone... Shit, it doesn't reproduce fucking hell. I know, right? Well, moving on to the Humble Bundle. Daedalic Entertainment 2018 has a Humble Bundle that
I need
just
a
released.
Valium and a fifth.
A Valium and a fifth.
A fistful.
Wow. Regenerate and copy the link. Shrink this back. Alright, Daedalic Entertainment has such titles as Memoria, Caravan Deponia, The Complete Journey, Anna's Quest, Witchit, Silence, Deponia Doomsday, Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun, The Long Journey Home, and Bounty Train.
Ooh.
And also a $2 Humble Wallet credit for monthly subscribers.
Ooh.
If you guys want my affiliate link to that, I am putting it in the live chat right now. I need a main battle tank to go talk with that idiot and its friends.
No kidding, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, ooh, having a problem today.
I'm having a problem too now.
If you guys want to check out any streams throughout the rest of the day, the link is in
Vodka
the
with a
live
bleach
chat now.
shooter. Yes, I'll take one.
Can we do bleach tainted cakes and just send them like to the? Or does the bleach cook out? I don't think the bleach cooks out.
No. You know what? We don't need anything like that and everything. We just need, we need to invite them to a barbecue and everything. And then we need to put the right amount of strychnine on the ribs that they're going to be served.
Nah, don't ruin the ribs. What you do is you make cookies and you try and put the bleach in the cookies and then you call them safe space tickets. Hand them out. I'm sure they'll eat them. I think Ronan is angry because that individual destroyed his fond memories of MLP. No.
No, I really was never a My Little Pony fan. It was never one of my things. But still, it's a fucking cartoon. You mean to tell me that a cartoon is what you gauge your life experiences and how you want to live your life?
Right.
You are a grossly underperforming individual if that's the way you're going about life.
As always, you can either submit news stories there, you can DM us if you are part of our Discord, you can put it in the newsroom for us to look up.
Well, I didn't say cyanide, I said strychnine.
Just said no. He's giving me cooking advice. Cyanide tastes like almonds. Just add some to the cookie dough.
Yeah. It does. He's correct, though.
Yeah. And this is also my blog, which I will be... Today I'm going to do a double upload of the edited streams and stuff, because yesterday I started cleaning and accidentally unplugged my computer. So that happened. That happened. I have a lot of, you know, things that I don't consider my finest hour, and that's one of them. So, yeah. And there are several ways to support the channel. You can click the link that is floating through the live chat, the biddies, which are always appreciated. You can become a patron as well. I am getting ready to, as soon as I get all this other stuff caught up and we get our, after 6 p.m. this evening, well, 8 p.m. this evening, before I forget, because I forgot last Wednesday and I felt like utter shit when I remembered. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, the Charlie's Angels ride again. Panina, Lou, and I will be back playing Torchlight 2 for Ladies' Night. Please join us then. Alright, take care, Ghost Dog. Please join us then for fun, banter, or as most people would, you know, some people would say, kibitzing. Me showing people my shield repeatedly and wondering where my DPS has wandered off to. It will be a multi-stream event. So please either tune into Panina's channel or mine, because we're going to be having an absolute blast tonight. And then starting tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will not see me on my computer, because Ronan will be either gaming or streaming or both or something like that, because we will be sharing.
I don't know.
So we're going to be hammering that out still. So please keep an eye out for that. Yep, we're about to wrap up, Draconith. You missed it, dude. You're an hour late.
He's busy. Draconith is pretty busy fellow.
Yep. But, as always, my friends, may your coffee ever flow, may your caffeine be ever strong, and may you have a whimsical, wacky Wednesday. Ciao.